And we're live. Hello everyone. Welcome. You guys, I've been trying to work this Instagram magic. Oh, let's see if it works. I think it might be working. Um, yes. Oh my gosh, we are going live on Instagram. This is amazing. All right, so we're live on LinkedIn and Instagram this morning with my dear friend Laura Crowley of Laura Jeannette and Co, Laura Jeannette Aesthetics. Did you start any new businesses in the last 2 weeks since I haven't seen you?
No, that's for 2025.
Oh my God, you guys, I was literally kidding. Um, so today I'm super excited because we are going to talk about all the things that we talked about with Amy and Rachel, but kind of the tangible aspects. And how do you do all this when you work in an industry like Laura and I work in life science, medical aesthetics, the medical industry? You can't just get a testimonial. These people, everything is very proprietary. The patient information is very proprietary. And a lot of times, just frankly, even if the information isn't proprietary, these people just don't want their name out there in this sense. And that's totally fine. And as Laura's writer on staff, we've helped her kind of come around this and figure out ways to tell these stories. So I thought she was the perfect person to talk about how do we message these results, all the things that Amy encouraged us to do, all the ways that Rachel talked about. How do we actually do that when it's not always possible in in a perfect world? So Laura, give us your intro. Tell us a little bit about what you do and how you do it and why in your world it is so important to show that impact and that data.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm Laura from Laura Jeannette and Co, like you said, and Laura Jeannette Aesthetics. So Laura Jeannette and Co is our consulting agency. So we help med spas, dermatologists, plastic surgeons, now into ocular care, ocular plastic surgeons, estheticians. We have solo nurse injectors right now. They really bring us on to take like a big bird's eye view of their practice. And we can do anything from we're designing consultation pads right now to designing that perfect consultation for them, the sales, retail services, optimizing basically their practice to grow and scale their practice because most are making money, but they're just stuck and they're so busy working in their business. Like we always hear that they're not working on it. So they need accountability. It's kind of like a personal trainer. They need
Yeah.
accountability like every week and check-ins all the time, or if it's every day, to be like, what are we working on and what are the goals and what are the top 3 things that's going to move our business forward? And that's what we provide. And we can provide, honestly, implementation too. And that's like another level that we provide. But we can provide business coaching and implementation, a lot of marketing resources too. As I've grown my company, and my social media, I've worked with so many social media people, writers, copywriters, website, SEO, learned so much. And with that, just this a lot of expertise that we've grown and really learned. So it's been a wild ride. And then I decided to open up my own skincare clinic in Newburyport, Massachusetts, which I've always had that passion of skincare and helping people with their skin and yours as well. And I just love it. And the retail aspect of it and that online and that telehealth part of it. So I never wanted to give that up. But yet, to your point, and what you really helped me do this past year is we've had some amazing success stories with our consulting clients and how to give them privacy, but how to, relate that to testimonials for me, because that's how people will find us. And also, so far, everybody's found us organically through referral. It's all been through referral. It's been amazing. Or they've seen my name pop up with people just recommending me on Facebook groups has been amazing. like Instagram. Honestly, people just commenting and being and building my own personal brand. And I feel like that is like huge and that's helped. But those testimonials for everything, I think for all business is where your bread and butter, even for med spas, those testimonials and those before and after pictures are just amazing and perfect. And the way that you've translated my recent case study is, I can't thank you enough because
Oh my.
it was just beautiful.
Okay, and we didn't come on to boast without bragging about me, but it was just such a perfect example. So we wanted to talk a little bit about that. So funny enough, when Laura talked to me about writing up this case study, she literally didn't even, I don't even know who the client was, you guys. Like, that is how proprietary some of this information is. All I talked to was the accountants. That is wild. So what we did was talk to the accountants and kind of the before Laura and the after Laura. Yet even with just data, we were able to kind of craft a story through the accountants and through Laura. But tell us a little bit about why this client was like, no, I don't want my name out there. And is that something you see a lot? And um, does that feel like prohibitive if you don't have access to something like the accountant, or are there other ways to tell the story, I guess?
Yeah, I think there's definitely many other ways to tell the story in my own words if I didn't have access to the accountants or specific data. Again, it's my experience and my team's experience in writing that and writing down those successes. To reason why they didn't want, it's okay. I think some people maybe don't want to say that they used business coaches to get
Yeah.
to where they are, and that's okay. Just as maybe some people don't want to get to reveal that they're using a therapist, maybe a little similar, or using like certain guides or coaches in life,
Exactly.
more private to them. I mean, business coaches, I mean, I have my own business coach. um, I think I'm really open to I feel like business coaches have business coaches.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe it's getting more normal to rely, or maybe back in the day we called it a mentor,
Yeah.
right? Like, and now it's like paid mentors, right?
Yeah.
Um,
No,
but
it's so
I
true.
think it's getting more like normalized and stuff like that. But yeah, I think it's a pride thing too. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, absolutely. And I think probably a bit too for an industry where you are serving patients with, HIPAA laws and all kinds of restrictions. Anything public is going to feel like too much of a gray area. And that's, what happens a lot in life science too, is, I've been to some companies to just give like LinkedIn presentations, and they've said like, you can't show our logo in the background.
Mhm.
Like, you can say you were at a life science company in Cambridge, but I couldn't even show them their name or any of their faces. And I think it's probably a little bit of just something that people don't want to share, or like you said, maybe a pride thing, but also just the nature of these businesses is so proprietary. You
Yeah.
probably don't even want to dip your toe in and risk something happening, but there still is very much a way that you can tell the story without selling out your customer's name, or upsetting HIPAA laws. So for this particular client, obviously we use like the data and whatnot. How do you do it on like their social media? Like, I feel like I see cool stuff all the time for like, the plastic surgeons, ocular practices that you have. What's the protocol? Like, would I randomly see like my eyes like before and after on a photo, or is it do you have to give permission? Like, how does that work as in terms of messaging or showing the results when it's like a patient's results?
You need consents. I mean, it's all about their EMR system and getting those consents.
Tell everyone what EMR stands for.
Electronic medical records. Sorry.
Yes.
So you just always get the consent of the patient, and so you can, get consents for to be a model, or you could get consents for, social media. That's just the most important thing. And then if they consent, I mean, I think really all medical spas should require that, because that's how you show your results. That's how this is
Exactly.
an aesthetic business. This is how we make our money essentially, is showing those before and
Exactly.
afters in our aesthetic business. That's how I bring in more patients and more referrals if they're going to see our work.
Exactly.
And relaying that to the patient, this is how I make, my money in my business, is showing these results. And if that would be so amazing if we could show these amazing results, and we can do certain things about blocking out eyes, or not doing a full face, or just doing like a cheek, or just doing the lips, but it's just so super important.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think that I'm much more likely to choose somebody if it's something medical related where I can see a patient or hear from a patient, or, if it's something aesthetic where I can see the before and after. I think when you're dealing with things like this, you really you need those results, because this is your health and your beauty, and that's, if you don't have your health and then you don't have anything. So I think you don't want to just pick somebody out of the phone book.
No.
You need those results.
Don't you think?
um
Don't you think, like, maybe in the future, like we were just talking on before we got on here, even in my space in the future, is maybe like a patient calling another like a future patient calling an older patient and saying, hey,
yeah,
like a reference, like, hey,
yeah,
you really got these results? That is actually amazing. And asking
yeah.
if that was okay. So I think, like, I think it's gonna definitely evolve.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think especially in these fields that need to kind of go around the traditional case study or the traditional testimonial, there's definitely ways to go around it, but hopefully it will evolve to a point where I'm in a locked room not knowing what who I'm talking to. I'm just kidding, guys. I wasn't in a locked room. I was in my car when I took the call, but that was poor planning on our travel time. But it was very interesting to me to not really know the background, but still be able to tell the story. That was what was so cool. Is I didn't. I usually get to talk to the people and have a great quote and whatnot, but I still was able to get that even though I was talking to this kind of third party. Um, and I think that's what was so cool about this example, is that we were really able to still draw the data, even though it didn't, it wasn't traditional. I think there's definitely ways to get around it. Um, what else? So, how do you ask since you have such a unique perspective of kind of the consumer business side and the B2B side,
Yeah.
um, how do you, like, kind of for the consumers, do you send out a survey after you're done, or how do you just, when someone's saying like, oh my gosh, I love my skin, do you say like, oh, can you go online and say that, or can I write about you? What would you say is kind of the best way to capture these testimonials and
I think
endorsements?
I think it's ever evolving. We certainly have like some ideas in place for, especially around, like, especially Christmas. This is like our biggest time of year, Thanksgiving
Yeah.
and Christmas. And those testimonials will be huge. I think the fortune is always in the follow up for every
Yeah.
business. So, I mean, you need to ask if, especially with skincare products, with results, checking in and following up. And are you using it correctly? Are you not using it? Do you not like it? I think, are you seeing results from it? Because if you're using it correctly, you should be definitely seeing amazing results from it. And it's holding them accountable. Again, it's holding them accountable for using the skincare products and doing what they're supposed to, and checking in, being human, and being like, are you okay? Like,
Yeah,
this is a
exactly.
customer service industry. We're in a service industry. Like, are you okay? And checking in. And I want that, like, I want to really raise the bar as far as like skincare clinics and medical practices, that this is a service industry at, and raising that service level to like the next level and to make it amazing and a really amazing customer experience. I feel like everybody keeps saying it's so saturated. And I'm like, yeah, it is. Like there's one opening up on every corner, and we all have very similar things, but you really need to do something extraordinary and provide an extraordinary service to set yourself apart.
Yeah, and that's where, the testimonials and the case studies are going to naturally come. And I think that's maybe something that we haven't talked about enough over the last few sessions is that, once you build that confidence and you understand the reason why you need to tell these success stories and how there is such power in a success story, but maybe it's backtracking a little bit and discussing like why, like how do you get a success story? It's one thing just to have their, like provide a service for somebody, but for someone to take that step and be like, wow, I need to tell everybody about Laura, it is about providing that next level. So can you talk about how you encourage people to, how do you get your clients to do the thing that makes them want to tell a success story, basically?
All a numbers game. I think it's, it's all a numbers game. I think it's following up again. It's emails, it's text messages, it's sending out newsletters, it's reminders. Again, it's providing that next level service and keep reminding them. And then also I love this. This is what I learned like a while back, like give a review, get a review. So
Ooh, love it.
especially like somebody said, like do like Monday is like review day, but like it's like give and take. Like and I have to really practice this myself. If I want reviews, I need to give reviews. So all the people that
Exactly.
I have worked with, I really should be doing all their reviews on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
on Google. Google probably is like the most important. And then I love
Yeah, it is.
doing recommendations too.
Yeah, and I will say that even if you aren't on Facebook, sometimes getting reviews on Facebook is also just good for Google. Brian Reiser taught me that, so thank you, Brian. So, and I think honestly, when I think about that, that's the place to start. When you get a review and you can see what people said about you, that's sometimes where I'm like, hey, I should write a case study about this, or a blog or something, because it doesn't necessarily just have to be in the form of a formal case study like we did for you. We can also do it as a blog. You can do a video testimonial. There's many ways, right?
Yes, I was thinking, well, I was going to ask your opinion, what you think about surveys too. Like some people, I like love like a survey, and especially like a
Yeah.
quick survey with like especially yes and no answers mostly that I could quickly send somebody. And then yes, that's hopefully my goal, if not for the end of the year for 2025, is all the consulting clients that I have done. I would love their video testimonial.
Oh my gosh, I know. It's like the video is the gold. And because I would say that the video is like the ultimate level of testimonial. That is somebody like that is willing to step in and like be on video for you.
Yeah.
If it's the one that we wrote for you, it would be like on Dateline, like where the face was like masked out and the voice was changed. But short of that, I'm just totally kidding you guys. There's many people that will give, and in that case, maybe it would be the CPAs or the bookkeepers that we talk to, and there's plenty of ways to go around it. But I
Yeah.
will say, even just this morning, I was reading how, especially on LinkedIn, video is so important now. So I think, getting the video is huge.
Can you talk
I
about
love the idea of surveys, though. Absolutely.
Can you talk about a little bit for some of my people on my LinkedIn? I always brag about you. Can you brag about yourself a little bit? I always say that you've really
Oh my
you're the
gosh.
LinkedIn expert, and you've really helped me like just like just amplify my LinkedIn and get
Oh my gosh.
started. And I always tell people about your services all the time, but
Oh
um,
my goodness. I love it. Both you and the last guest said the same thing. This is great. I love this. So yeah, we help companies tell their story through content copywriting and LinkedIn. For us, LinkedIn is our sweet spot because we do work in life science, healthcare, medical, and that's where these thought experts live on LinkedIn. It's really the place for them to be. They're sharing articles and they're sharing stories. So I have been on LinkedIn for 16, 17 years
wow.
because that's been my industry. And I became this expert, kind of de facto expert, when COVID happened. And people were like, oh, shoot, I can't go out and network. What do I do? So I just started teaching folks in my networking groups and beyond about LinkedIn. And now I help folks, businesses with their LinkedIn content strategy, which is more, like curated one-to-one everyday service. But I also help entrepreneurs or really small businesses create like just content caches.
Yeah.
So you just kind of take it and run with it yourself. I help people with their profiles. And honestly, LinkedIn is just a place to share your successes. In fact, I was writing about it this morning for our newsletter next week. So it's hot on my mind. But first of all, something you said really resonated with LinkedIn is the references.
Mhm.
The reference section of LinkedIn is so not to be ignored, you guys. And it's actually a perfect place to give and get because when you ask for one, you can give one at the exact same time. So
Yeah.
it's super easy. And my hot tip is always for people like me and Laura, that is an awesome spot to ask for somebody for a testimonial and then just swipe it and put it on our website.
Yeah.
Like ideally they would put it on Google too, but if you're feeling uncomfortable with asking for that, like at the bare minimum, they could throw it on LinkedIn.
Mhm.
Um, and the other thing too is just that LinkedIn is a thought leadership platform. People want to hear your experience, your expertise, and it's easy. There's many, many ways to share your wins without sounding like you're just, bragging and, self-impressed. It's very much a platform that people want to hear from you. They want your experiences, and it doesn't always have to be your wins. It could be your lessons learned. In fact, I think I share more of those than my wins. But for me, that's a win in and of itself. But I do think that that's the great thing about LinkedIn is that it is a platform that naturally lends itself to hearing your experiences in a positive light. Um,
I just think
so
like,
that's, yeah,
yeah, no, I think I was just reading again, like this morning, or I think it was yesterday, just the people have their brand of their business, but then establishing that personal brand again. I mean, I know this, you know this, but it's just somebody just posted it on it today. It's just so important. And I'm finally seeing more and more business owners finally stepping away from their business brand and establishing their personal brand. And I'm like so excited. I'm like, what took you so long? Like it's like people want to hear they're amazing business owners that own multiple businesses or huge med spas and stuff like that. Like I want to hear your thought leadership on how you built this and putting that on
exactly.
LinkedIn and or having your own separate like now Instagram that maybe is not just so much family oriented. Now it's more thought leadership oriented of how you built like a multi-million dollar med spa or plastic surgery office or even
Exactly.
business. Like that's interesting to me because that's just super inspiring.
That's a really good point, and I think something that the people in these more proprietary industries could lean into is that, if you work for a company that you're not allowed to say who your clients or your patients are,
Yeah.
um, what about you personally? Can you talk about your personal successes in a way that isn't outright connected to your company? Is
Yeah.
there a way to share something that you've done in the past that people, that leaving out names or whatnot, or I don't know, just a way to be creative with your personal brand.
Mhm.
That's an awesome idea. I think there's a lot of ways when you work in industries like we do.
Mhm.
Um, it is just being more creative. I
Yeah.
think that's like what it comes down to,
Yep.
and always getting permission. Don't-
Yeah. Yes.
yeah.
Always asking permission, and obviously looking at your contracts, your employee contracts, things like that. And but yeah, especially if you're owners, I feel like it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, exactly. Owners and VPs,
Yeah.
executives, all
Yeah.
those like high level people. And I just read like a whole thing about how like consumers are more likely to trust a brand where the executives are
Mhm.
have their own personal brand, like
Mhm.
80% of consumers. So
I said
that
this a
right.
long time ago. I'm like, I want to know who owns the business.
Yeah,
Who's the
exactly.
owner? I wanna know who is the owner, who is the manager, who is the assistant manager or VP or whatever. Like, give me a little look and behind the curtain. Like, I wanna know who's running, and because that's who I want to support. And I mean, I think, it's like that know, like, and trust factor. Like, I'm not gonna
Exactly.
support a business if I don't know, like, and trust them. And I usually find them on either Google or Instagram, and I wanna feel that. Like, I'm not gonna invest my and consumers are not gonna invest their money if they don't know, like, and trust them.
Yeah, and it's a good point, and that's a way to kind of get around if you do not have the ability to share as much as a SaaS program or something, like HubSpots and all those of the world have beautiful case studies because people are always willing to vouch for them. It's not always possible in every industry. And if it's not, but you showing up is the testimonial that, that's what Laura is saying. Um,
Do a whole 'nother one on SaaS because 'cause I'm getting
I
like
oh my
that.
gosh. I know it is like such a trick though because they have the most beautiful like videos and like Instagrams and I'm like I literally can't say a single thing. It's all so proprietary. So it's a great starting point, but just know that if you don't have the ability to create those gorgeous videos that you see as examples, it's okay. There's plenty of ways, and start by being your own best advocate as with a
Yeah,
personal brand for sure.
yes. Well, I think to start, I think, it was really great. I have to introduce you to Megan O'Neill. She's a content creator. She's awesome, and, she owns her own social media agency too, and she just said this too, so many people just don't wanna show their face because
Show your
they
face.
yeah,
Show
they're
your
like
face.
yeah, they're like, "Oh my god," they're like she's like, My roots, my hair, my double chin, like this," and she's like, "Guys, just show your face."
Yeah, just slap on a little eyeliner. You're
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
It's
But I did the same
fine.
thing. I slapped on a little, concealer, a little mascara, a little lip gloss, and,
We're good to go.
dry shampoo, and it's good to go. I'm
Yeah, we should. That's definitely on the docket for 2025. Like how to show your face
yeah.
without showing your face. All right, guys. Well, I gotta go. But this has been amazing. Laura, thank you so much for
Thank you
coming
so
on.
much for having me.
We have like talked the entire half hour. This is crazy. Thank
Actually,
you
we could
so,
go
so
on.
much. And next month we have something really exciting. We're gonna talk about branding. So we have some good stuff coming up, and we will see you guys next month.
All right, bye.
All right, let's see. And live.